Do you know that made me think? Yeah. My brother Brendan's jokes, you know. One time, so it was before he went back to uni. I had to go to the gym to train Karen, and what happened? I needed him to give me a free day pass at the gym.
Ryan?
Brendan.
Oh, Brendan. Okay.
Yeah, so I needed him to give me a free day pass at the gym. So I went into his room to wake him up to be like, "Hey, bro, could you mind like sending me a link for a day pass?" Tell me why. I go to it. It's like wake him up, and I see on his mouth is taped, fam. Like he's been kidnapped.
Don't he tape his own mouth? Brendan or Ryan?
Right.
He done the DIY tape thing. So the one where it's like you tape your mouth and then it breathes through your nose. But he done it himself.
But why do you even need this guy okay, fam?
There was better tape. I was like, is everything because I know the tape thing is like it's a little bit of strip of tape. Don't even.
You get a little sticky
His
thing.
mouth was taped, cuz. Whoa. No, I was like, what's going on? He was like, oh, I'm doing the tape thing where you breathe through your nose. I was like, it's a bit much, fam. It was
Bruh.
taped, DIY.
I didn't even know that was a thing. People tape their mouth to sleep.
I just did that yesterday, bro.
It's nuts because.
No, I bought the actual thing though.
But why'd you do it though?
It's just,
It's like people are when you sleep. Some people breathe through their mouth, and I think it's that over time when you breathe through your mouth, like your jaw structure, like just the jawline, everything messes up, fam. Like people with it breathe through their mouth over time, your jaw messes, fam. So like if you want that sharp jaw, through the nose thing.
It's even for the whole thing because it's going up and through your nose. Yeah, the muscles around your face will strengthen. Have you seen them like teachers with like they look like frogs, bro? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
They breathe through their mouth. That's what they do.
That is nuts. I'm gonna have to look into that, bro. So you get some proper strips.
Proper sticky ones that you just.
It's they also do.
I'll send you the picture.
Send it to me, bro.
What's the other thing that they do? They do like these nose things as well.
Oh yeah, that opens up.
Yeah, but
that's what Mosey has.
Yeah, but it only applies to white dons, fam. Because I've seen it on the black dons. There's no.
You man,
you weren't made
on your nose.
Like I think I saw this thing. It actually showed. They showed it, yeah, and like all these white dons, their noses flare up, fam. And they did it with one black don, and there was literally no difference.
But even that one, what's the point of it?
It's just I don't even know. I think it just
allow the flow of air.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know too much about that one actually.
Yeah, but no, these products, it's like someone thought, you know what? I feel like this is what I'm saying. The world now, we're so susceptible to like anything. Like, how is that a thing where everyone's now like, oh yeah, that's the thing I need to be on now, just because we saw one like influential person do it, like Hormozy. I didn't even know what it was, but I just see him all the time.
No,
trust me.
The second I saw it on TikTok, I was like, "Oh, Hormozy, where's that one?"
Which is nuts, you know.
Yeah,
that's how you create a brand. Fam.
Yeah, nah, he's doing his thing.
What do they call that thing? Maxim, looks maxim. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, is that when they
It's like almost like this trend thing where like I learned from my little brother. I didn't know what it was. It's like doing all these little things whereby you're maximizing your looks, bro.
Yeah.
So all of these things will come into
the skincare thing,
all of that.
Yeah.
It's a big industry, you know.
Nah, 100%. It's like it's little things that people can do at home where it's like it's not life changing, like life altering. Sorry, but it's just like things you can buy which don't make that much of a difference to your daily life. But I just can't be asked all that.
Do you reckon you could ever do a business in like anything to do with health or beauty? Do you reckon you'd ever do that?
If I were, it would be tailored to like men. Like it wouldn't be like the hairdressing thing.
Looks and beauty, yeah.
Or but like products though.
Oh,
so whether it's like a makeup thing, whether it's like a or even the mouth strip thing that you're talking about, anything like that. Do you reckon you'd ever do a product-based business based on health and beauty? Or let's say beauty.
Beauty. I don't even know.
It's a tough one because I like natural, if you know what I mean. And I feel like introducing all these makeup chemicals, for me personally, just goes against what I'm.
No, do you know what it is, yeah, with all that sort of stuff? I think because that industry, they're so smart because they play on your insecurities.
100%.
Yeah. So even to do with like and like anyone that does this, fair enough, do your thing. But the whole cosmetics industry of like how people get, let's say, Botox or lip filler or any of these things, you got to remember this person has an image of themselves in their head, right? And that is like their foundation image of what they perceive themselves to be.
Right.
So they get this thing done, and yes, cool. It kind of like gives them that like, oh yeah, cool. I don't have this insecurity anymore. But insecurities are so like on a deeper level where eventually you become numb to the change that you've made, and then you then perceive that to be in your head you're still the same person. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then they then feel like, oh, now I need to get more. Now I need to get more, and it's a continuous vicious cycle. And sometimes you see people's faces are done out, and you're like, how has it got to that point? It's because they don't see what we see. They will forever see the I don't know. They'll see the girl that had the 14-year-old girl that had no lips. That's the person that they're seeing constantly in their head. So this industry, they just play upon that, and the way they do it is also so smart. You'll never get like mad dosages. You'll only get like the tiny one where it's like oh, but if I just did 0.5 more, it could be calm. I'm like, oh, that's dangerous, fam. Like it's actually dangerous.
Do you know? I actually saw one before and after picture of Serena Williams. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, word.
Williams.
It's
She's got
nuts.
It's nuts, bro.
I didn't even know that, you know.
It's nuts.
Bro, it's
obviously
crazy.
I don't know the story there, so it's all hypotheticals. But people are just saying that with her new, I don't know if it's husband or whatever it is, like typically the type of circles that she's in, it's kind of like she's adjusting to look more like those people.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Apparently.
And the problem is they're all turning out to look the same. Because they're all showing them the same picture. Like they're going to the surgeon saying,
100%.
this is what I want to look like. And they all have
As if it's a trim, fam.
No, as if it's a trim. Like, genuinely.
Let me get this trim.
Yeah, no, word. But it's mad how they all look the same. Like,
Bro, I went, the one time I went to Christmas market in December in London.
Yeah.
I think it was like Oxford Street or something like that. I saw bare people.
Mm.
And you know my eyesight's quite bad. So I gave it the benefit of that. I thought I was just seeing the same. Like, I thought it was my eyesight.
No, 100%.
Broski, just different hairstyle, same face. Everywhere, bro.
Same face.
Different
same face, fam.
Boys and girls.
Different
hairstyles, same face. I was thinking, are you time traveling or something?
No, word up.
No, it's nuts.
It's actually nuts, you know. So you see Facebook, this year, I think they're going to restart the hearings where these gatherings, I don't know, nothing's going to happen in the end, but they're going to have certain, you know, that they have those Congress hearings, like what happened to Iron Man, bro.
Oh, yeah.
We have to speak about those people there.
100%.
Where Mark Zuckerberg has to go back. They paused it, I think, during the elections and stuff. But it's about the impact of social media, specifically Meta, on young girls. In terms of what you're talking about, in terms of their confidence when they're growing, how they're comparing, all of the likes and that.
Yeah.
How they're feeling in comparison, whether it's a negative, they're going to be chatting about all of that. Question I'm thinking is, going back to the makeup thing, let's say you have daughters, yeah? How are you going to approach the makeup thing, fam? Are they allowed it? Are they not allowed it? How are you going to approach the social media thing? Are they allowed it? Are they not allowed it?
No, I think for me, it's always a case of just like, I think if you limit someone too much, they're going to do it anyway. And if anything, they're going to do it to the max. Do you know what I'm saying? In terms of like...
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I just have the mindset of I'm not going to limit my kids from seeing these certain things. Like, let them see it because they're probably going to see it anyway. Like, realistically, in their circles at school, this, that, the other, everyone has phones. So I'm not going to say to them, oh, no, don't wear the makeup. If anything, it's a case of, obviously, whoever my wife turns out to be, it'll be a case of, let's say, for example, we buy the little daughter her little makeup set. She's probably going to do too much on the first try anyway. And then she goes and shows mum. Mum's like, oh, maybe you don't need to do... I think it's like that reinforcement to say, maybe you don't need to, because there's like... I think for me, I feel like if you ever limit a child too much, they're just going to rebel. Like, they want to find out. Like, kids, like if you ever tell a child, don't do this, they just want to find out, but what if I do this? Like, what if I press that button? What's going to happen? Do you know what I mean? And they might get burnt in the process, but they still will want to find out. Like, they just want to. They're not at that point yet where they can rationale to say there's a reason why I'm not meant to do this thing. It's just like I'd rather do it and face the consequences later. They don't even think about the consequences. They just think they just want to find out. So yeah, I don't think I'll limit my daughter.
How do you balance that though? With like there's certain things that they just don't need to try, like for example drugs.
Yeah, stuff like that. I'm just it's mad because I think obviously my parents were so certain things they were very like down my throat about, like drugs, smoking, tattoos, like all these sort of things, to the point where now, like in my head, I know I can do whatever I want. I'm a grown adult, yeah, but I'll never get a tattoo. And part of me, there's that thing in my head of like, my mum would be vexed. Do you know what I mean? Like it's always in my head now. And not even that I would want to get one anyway, but like it's been so installed in me from early that it's like, I think where there were, I think if you just say no to everything, like my dad said this to me, yeah. He said, I never said no to you for just because I wanted to say no. I said no to you and I gave you a reason why I said no.
Right.
So yeah, I do like that my parents said that. They never just would say no. They'd say no and give a reason. So it's not like if someone just says no all the time, you just think you're just being moist. But when they give a reason for something and they do allow certain things, you're like, okay. I think even as a child, you're thinking, 9 times out of 10 they allow it, so there must be actually a valid reason why they're saying no now. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's actually, if you say no all the time, your kids are just gonna think you just say no for the sake of saying no. Like I think you should let your kids. Sometimes you need to let your kids fall to pick themselves back up and know, rah, okay, I actually need to be careful here when I'm running. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like when you say to your kids, don't run. Like you need to actually let them run and fall over for them to realize, right, if I actually run, I'm gonna fall over and get hurt. But if you always are just like, no, 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 they're not in their head, they're just gonna think you're just being moist. Like, why are you actually saying no? Like, give me a valid reason why. But yeah, I think, yeah, so you got to, I think you need to let your kids like fall and pick themselves back up sometimes.
To be fair, I do see Sean's point, because I know some people that have really strict parents, and the kids themselves are the most sneakiest people of that. Like lying, they can do on the spot.
No, yeah,
it's like natural to them.
Yeah,
because they'll do anything just to try and get out of the situation so their parents don't know.
What about you though?
I'm actually curious about this topic, because I don't know. Like, I'm trying to understand what, for example, you mentioned like smoking and that. Yeah. Personally, I've never ever been tempted to that. You can't even tempt me to that. But I want to know why though. Like, why am I like that? Like, what is it our parents did that got me to the point where I'm not even interested?
What do they say?
I don't know. Like, and that's the thing. I don't even know if they really said too much about it. This is why I'm perplexed, bro.
Yeah.
Because as you mentioned, is a fine balance. If you are bare, like you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. There is that curiosity, that childlike curiosity. So that's one angle. But I'm thinking, is it that we have certain things that we're just curious to do anyways, or certain things that we're not curious to do? Meaning, is it a case of, all right, cool, my parents could say, oh, you can't smoke, but that's just not one of the things that interest me anyway. But let's say like, oh yeah, you can't eat sugar, but that interests me. And is it that I'm already born with that natural liking towards sugar, and that's the thing that I'm probably gonna try anyways? Or is it the influence from the parents? I don't know if that makes sense as a question. Because I'm thinking, I don't know if it was the pressure thing, or it's just, I just genuinely, I'm not interested in the smoking thing, the tattoo thing. Like, I don't even have the curiosity to try, fam. It's not even like, oh, I just want to try it and see. I don't even want to. So I'm wondering whether that's something that you can control. Because I'm thinking about how am I actually going to pattern that with my kids, fam.
100. That's that nature v nurture thing. Do you know what it is? I thought, with me personally, my parents never drink, like drunk or smoked in front of me or ever at all. They don't do any of that. So that's what I've seen. Even my family, there's only a handful of members that do that in my family. But I didn't always spend time with them. I spent time with the others. So I just picked up that habit.
That might be actually it. But it might be like what you're exposed to, innit?
Exactly.
More than what they say, just genuinely what you're exposed to.
Yeah.
And I think it might be like, because as you mentioned, like my parents, like very occasionally would I ever see my partner ever drink something. It's like minor.
Is that the red wine?
Very occasionally.
Yeah.
And that was never the vibe, bro. Smoking the same, bro.
Yeah. I remember seeing my first ever tattoo, like I'll never forget the day. Like genuinely, like I remember the day. It was a pivotal moment. Like, so I remember my boy, his older brother this is when I was in primary school as well. His older brother was a plumber. And I remember he came round my yard to sort out one pipe or something. I don't know what it was in the kitchen. I remember he was outside. I was playing in the garden, and Donny took off his top. It was in a vest and that, and I see sleeve. I'm like, raw. What is the colour of this Don's skin, fam? I was like, I genuinely was taken aback. I was like, wow. What is that? Like, what is that thing on your arm?
Word.
And I remember I went up to him. I was like, oh, like, what's that? And he was like, oh, it's a tattoo, mate. And I was like, oh, like, mum, can I get one? And these times, you know, you get the what's it, the little
Oh yeah, the Spider-Man thing.
No, do you know
Fake
how?
tattoo.
Do you know how mad that is? Yeah, those. So they what are they? They're not even. They were. It was like it's cigarettes, fake cigarettes.
White ones, isn't it?
Yeah, fake cigarettes and tattoos. It wrapped in one, fam.
Yeah.
And so you have like they're like these sugar, like little sugar sticks.
cane
Whichever one pretends them to be cigarettes, and then on the back you have like a fake tattoo which you put on you, and then you pull it off.
The water.
Those things would stay for days, fam.
And they were colourful.
Yeah, colourful.
Colourful.
That's actually dangerous, you know. Like people used to pretend them to be. You used to pretend that these were cigarettes, these little white things.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a tattoo thing in there. That's a double combo, fam. So I remember I used to have that when I was younger, and I was like, I don't know what it was, where I was just like, I remember even after my mum, I said to my mum, like the innocence sometimes of kids, where I was like, mum, can I get one of them? And she was like, I don't know what she said, but it wasn't. Even thinking about it now, it wasn't no. It was more just like, you wouldn't want that or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, even like now, my brother's relationship with my parents, I think is so open that I'm like, raw. Like, even to the extent of like certain things my brother would like say to my parents about his like, just his friendships in school and this, that, the other. I'm like, you tell these dons anything. Like, I'm like, what age? Because I'm like, that cannot run forever. Like, if it does, fair enough. But like, even the other day, what's it? He was chatting to my mum, and something was going on in their group chat at school. I was telling my Marge everything. I was like, whoa, keep that hush, fam. I'm sure this is secret information. But I think, like, I always thought about this, like with girls in general. Girls are quite open with their parents and that they tell their mums everything. So, and I find that really hard to. I've just never been like that, so I find it hard to process. And I don't even really know even many guys that are like that tell their parents literally everything. But I'm seeing like my brother feels so comfortable he can tell my mum anything, and she's not going to give a certain reaction to it.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. I think. Well, I think for my mum, she's always wanted to have daughters in it, and I think because we're in the sense of, no, she's happy with boys, but I think the thing of having boys, we're just not like we just don't like, especially me and my brother Brendan, we don't like tell her bare stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I think she has friends that have daughters and they tell their mum stuff, and like with us, she's always digging, and she can never find anything out. Like she'll always try to find out information. And I think with my brother, she's always made it like, oh yeah, like we can talk about anything. Done it, he'll come home from school, go upstairs, and if there's beef at school, drama, like he will tell my mum everything. Like he was saying that one girl got excluded the other day. He just said it with chest. Like I just wouldn't say that to my mum. Do you know what I mean? What's what it was? He said my friend got excluded. Like I'm not telling my mum my friend, because I'm no longer seeing that friend. Yeah, because me and him, now that she knows we're friends, she's like, "Why are you friends with him?" And I'm like, "Oh." So he said it the other day. I was like, "Bro, like you're comfortable, fam." Like, which is mad to see. Like kids now, I'm just like they just say anything. They just don't care.
Do you feel like you want, when you have kids, you want that relationship where they chat to you bears, or would you feel like you want it to be?
Yeah, I would like that situation, to be fair. But I don't know. Even like yesterday, what did my brother say? He was quite jokes. He was like, I come to people in my family for different things. So he was like, I'll come to mum if there's problems with like school. I'll go to dad if there's like I need advice on something. And then he was like, if it's Sean and Brendan, I come to you about girls, fam. Yeah. I was like, man, like he's like,
right? He's already got the compartment.
He's got it on lock. He's got it on lock. And I like that in the sense of, I think he's in a situation where he's got older siblings. So I noticed there's a massive difference where if I tell him not to do something and my mum tells him not to do something, like he just takes it in a very different way.
So which one's more serious?
I think he would always listen if I say something, like as in because he knows that I 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't. So if I am, he's like, oh, maybe he's been through it. He's been there and done it. So, but then I never had that of having older siblings. So I don't know. What about you? Or even the two of you?
No, I was even deeper. Your mum and my mum were in similar situations. All boys, fam.
Yeah, word.
Serious situation, but yeah, no, you don't have any older siblings.
Yeah, so.
But you got one older brother, innit?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
No young siblings.
Just us two, bro. But my broski's like self-contained. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
He stays in the room. Back then, play a little bit Pokemon. You get what I mean?
Yeah, nah.
He didn't really go to too much outside struggle.
So he was never like a party type vibe when you.
No. He's still a little kid right now, bro. You get what I mean?
Nah, here.
Crazy.
To be fair, for me, my brothers, yeah, it was always a three. It was never like there wasn't enough gap for it to be a party thing because we were always like the three.
What's the age gap between you lot?
Between me and Daniel was 3 years.
Yeah.
And then between me and Steve was like depending on when you split it, bro. But it's like 2 years and 1 year, two school years.
Yeah.
But he was born 1999. I was born 2000.
Oh, got you.
So 2 school years, but 1.5 years in actual reality.
Yeah.
And that was like 3 years. So it was mad close. The challenge with that, yeah, and you know, I actually never deeped this, but kids can get kids can get jealous in it. This is what Adriana was telling me, bro. Whereby, let's say you have an eldest son and another son comes through, they can get jealous because more attention is going to the second thing, bro.
Yeah.
Which is so jokes. What I was gonna say is that the way I always viewed it was that because we were so close in age, whenever my brother had got to the age where he had to be more responsible to do something, I had to as well. So it's like silly, like, oh, when it got to the point where he had to start washing his plates, I had to start washing my plates. When it got to the point where he had to start ironing his clothes for school, I had to start ironing his clothes for my clothes for school. So
that's good.
For me, he wasn't like a party figure, but it just pushed me to be like, all right, cool, you got plan up.
Yeah.
So I think I was probably a little bit more mature because of that, because I was always pacing with what my brother was doing. When he went to the maths school, when we were in like year 4 or something, I was already conscious, like, all right, cool, there's something called the maths school, and we're going to need to go there. We're going to plan it. Do you know what I'm saying? I was really conscious of that. So that's how it kind of worked, but it was never like a parge type thing, and I never thought, at least I didn't see it, that there was ever any like resentment or jealousy. I don't know if my parents patterned it, but it was something I'm deep in. Bro, this is actually things I'm gonna have to navigate when I have kids. I never thought about it before. Never viewed it like that.
No, 100%.
I just feel like you always look up to the eldest brother. In my opinion, I don't know if Brendan and Ryan does that to you.
Yeah, no, they do. Even like Brendan will say it to me sometimes, every now and again. He's like, you set the precedent. You set the precedent. Like, and I don't think about it when I do it. Do you know what I mean? I just think I'm just living my life and whatever. But obviously, I think it sets a certain standard where they're like, minimum we have to achieve this, if not more. And I'm like, oh wow, never really looked at it like that.
Do you feel pressure?
Pressure's for tires, bro.
Well, pressure's a privilege.
I know.
Yeah. When I say pressure, as in, I know I need to deliver. I think I don't know, in the sense of, that's a good question. I'll be honest, I've never thought of it in the moment to say I need to do this in order to set a good example for them. But as in, I think obviously my thing naturally is I want to be the best anyway, which I'm starting to see my brothers have that as well, of just wanting to be the best, which I'm glad they've carried that forward. Like my brother Brendan, I don't understand the way that Don is when it comes to education. Like he genuinely, it's not about being a certain level of smart. It's about being the best. Like,
what guy?
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like he doesn't care if he gets like, for him, getting a first in an assignment at uni doesn't mean anything. It's not enough. Did I get the best in the class? You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense of he could literally get the word he could get a third, but if everyone else got a third as well and he was the highest third, he'd be gassed. He'd be like, "Yeah, I was the best." Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Tap, by the way. Is Ryan Tap like that in a certain way as well, apart from Fortnite, fam?
Yeah, don't need. Oh, when it comes to this Fortnite thing, he's tapped. But in terms of Ryan, how do I describe Ryan? I think what I'm noticing with him, yeah, is he is so willing to try new things. Like even the other day, I think I told you boys the other day. I came home from the gym. This guy has like a very particular diet, fam. Like very particular. We're talking pure enjoyment, fam. Like pure enjoyment, fam. Nothing that's like difficult or not enjoyable, or tasteless or bland, anything like that.
Carefree.
100%. But I came home, went in the kitchen, and I see a bowl, and I know what a bowl of Weetabix looks like when it's been munched. So I was like, bro, so I was like, who's munched this? And I'm thinking, obviously, my dad's on the plan and that. So I was like, has he had Weetabix? But I just couldn't even ask the question. So the following day now, I'm chilling. My brother comes home from school. I completely forgot about it, to be honest. And he comes home and he was like, I see him get the box of Weetabix. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's never touched Weetabix in his life. Like, bear in mind, he has Kit Kat cereal. Like, the level of sugar in that, I was like, wow. And because he's seen me have Weetabix every single day, he's my dad have Weetabix every single day. He thought to himself, let me try some Weetabix, fam. He said, it's not even that bad. And I was like, wow, that is like the power of like, that's influence, fam. That's
100%.
influence.
No,
like, that's, no one has said to him, go and do this thing. He's literally just watched certain behavior and he's been like, I'm going to just try it and see what happens. And he was like, bro, that's not that bad. No, this is quite cold. Which is, yeah, it's nuts to see how I think even that now I'm very conscious to say, cool, anything I do, this guy's actually probably gonna copy what I do. I think kids are just very susceptible to that sort of thing, like influence. Like even like the term influencer, I think people don't realize how like meaningful that word is.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, I think it's not even to do with, let's say, our age. Like influencers are influencing the next generation of people coming up. Because I think I'm very set in my ways that if I see something that I don't actually wholeheartedly align with, I'm not gonna do it. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas these kids just do not have that mental capacity to say, I am me and this is my way. Not all of them do. Some do, but like, not all of them are so like rooted in their morals and beliefs to say I don't align with this thing.
Right.
So they can be so easily shifted based on what they see. Like, hence why I said, like, even with the content and stuff I do, I have to be wary that there could literally be a 10-year-old or like a 6-year-old watching what I'm doing. And if I say something, they are 9 times out of 10 going to take it for gospel. Like, do you know what I mean? And do that exact same thing. So I have to break it down to like layman's terms, as simple as I can, because I don't want anything to be misinterpreted and then they go and do something. Because you see, like, these kids will do, like, even like, for example, when Prime, the drink, you man, I don't know if you didn't.
Nuts.
When I tell you, the day I worked in Sainsbury's when Prime drops, oh my, do you know how it was nuts? Like, I remember I was working that shift when it dropped. We got a case of them. There was kids, bro. Like, we're talking. You would have thought there was a celebrity in the store. You would have thought KSI and Logan Paul were in the store with us that day, and these kids were, have you got the Prime? I was like, big man, relax.
It's water and sugar.
It's not even that good, fam. Like, and I was even seeing that day because all the builders come in the morning before they go on their shift, and loads of them were saying, "Oh, mate, my son, he said this is a Prime drink that's out today." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And he was like, "Oh, how much is it?" I was like, £2.50. He's like, £2.50 for a drink. I was like, yeah. And he was like, "Oh, I've got to do it, don't I? Make my son happy." And I was like,
oh, bless.
make little Jimmy happy. And I was like, wow, like, it's mad. Like,
I saw that drink. even now, and obviously not as much now, but I remember going to shops or Tesco's, and that's the one. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the colours, everything.
It's just
They patterned it so nicely.
I don't.
I heard like so many, mum, please.
The
I won't drink it all now.
These times you have to ration that drink, you know.
No,
like,
sips.
It's sips, fam. Sips.
You know when you pour it in the lid?
Yeah.
They have a stronghold on the kids.
Nah, I'm good.
Do you not think that's crazy though? What you just said, like we all have lived the same childhood. Like like I find this one weird, yeah. Where you talk about like I remember when me and my brother were younger, we used to do like sip, like put the drink in the lid, fam. Like pour it in the lid and.
No, 100, bro.
Like why are we like that? Like I don't like because we never had a conversation, you and me. We didn't even know each other, but we both experienced that same thing.
Time, bro.
Like this is where it comes down to the thing of like we're actually not special in the sense of like we all have the same thoughts in our head.
No,
I don't know why. Like that's a very niche thing to think as a child. Let me pour my drink into my lid. Sip it.
What were the drinks that you were savouring the most? I'm even trying to think which ones were, bro.
Ribena back in the day.
Oh my! I was literally about to say Ribena blackcurrant, bro.
Used to slap, fam. I had it the other day. I was vexed. I had a sip of it the other day.
But the thing is that it's not even the same drink.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
Tax came through
It's not
nicely,
even.
bro.
Yeah, nah.
Ruined everything.
Sunny
Even
D.
Capri Sun.
Oh.
That used to. But the thing is, you have to make sure you piss
Piss-
correctly.
yeah, nah. Cap.
If it goes through, it's done, bro.
It's done, fam.
So the angle, bro.
It's
has to be-
done.
You have to open it, yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be down.
It has to be down.
Do it down, bro. Don't do it straight.
You can't be too hasty.
100,
You can't be too hasty with that one.
Relax.
Nah, take it easy. Take it easy.
Relax.
No,
Yeah, that was a cold drink, bro.
that was a
I
cold
can't remember
drink.
who I saw drinking that.
What was a good flavour, fam? For me personally, the blackcurrant one used to slap like on a hot summer's day,
Bro, all
fam.
of them slap. Bro.
Oh, and they're cold.
All of them
Oh,
slap.
cap,
Bro, I only need the orange flavour. I didn't
the
even
orange
know
one,
there was a
man.
black. I didn't even know
all
there
of
was
them-
blackcurrant.
all of them
Like
slap,
they
bro.
slap. I'm like,
There was even like a tropical or something one.
yeah.
They all
Summer berries, fam. Summer berries.
Oh, bro, do you know they had the XL version of Capri Sun as well, bro?
Swear.
The big one with the
Yeah.
screw, you screw it off with that lid.
but it just didn't have
It
the
didn't
same
have the
effect,
same,
bro.
fam.
'Cause
You
it
needed-
has
you needed-
the exact amount.
Yeah, well, you needed to go. You needed to go.
Yeah, I'm done.
You needed to go through the struggle of trying to get it in. 'Cause
Nah,
once you
100%.
got it in, and sometimes you just wouldn't pierce. You're like, what is wrong with this thing?
Nah,
Like,
word.
nah, that's mad.
Those are good memes, bro.
Nah,
Trust me.
memes, pivotal. Like this, is what I'm saying. We all go through like these things when we're younger, which we don't think are core memories. Like that's a core memory we've just unlocked.
Nah,
Like I've not
100.
thought of that for years and years and years. But
I've got a good question.
yeah,
It's a drink. It was called Boost. It was an energy drink back in the day.
Yep.
the grade ones, bro.
Yeah. So my Marge kept on telling me, if you drink those type of drinks, you get angry and
So-
you just crash out. But I was always that little jit that was just
Yeah.
crashing out all the time.
yeah.
And then when she said that, it was like a placebo effect. All right, if I drank that, I'll go crazy. And every time I drank it, I always had a bad day. And she was so smart and clever with it. She swindled me nicely, bro.
Do you know
And I
what-
never touched energy drink in my life again, bro.
No, 100%. Even I was never really on this energy drink thing, really. Like, but what was more concerning for me
Word though.
with
I know you
boost,
know.
you know what I'm gonna say in it, yeah. This boosting, no drink should have like an opaque bottle, fam. Like, why was the bottle opaque?
Grey, bro.
Grey,
It was a
like
pipe.
it was grey, matted out.
It was
Like you do
massive.
not want to know what's in that. I remember there was these times. I think it was man like Lee, fam. I think there was a day where I genuinely saw the Don have a
Nah,
a litre
that's
bottle.
a big thing, bro.
a litre bottle of boost.
But genuinely, I think
Do you
these
know-
grade ons, their body composition is different. It just absorbs it, bro. It absorbs it differently, bro. Because these men used to chuck that. It's not
Yeah.
even just that, bro. You know when you go to the corner shop, there used to be these 15p energy drinks.
Yeah. The little
That's
can
the-
ones.
And like kids would have it. That's probably the worst ones.
That's
Bro.
petroleum, fam.
Nah,
That is
bro.
nuts.
It's gasoline, bro.
Gasoline. Nah, I don't think you get it. A litre bottle of energy
And they
drink.
would chug it.
On either side of the pockets as well, bro.
I'm like, that is nuts.
I never had it, but I just remember the smell, bro.
The smell is
Yeah.
distinct. Like I can smell it. I can smell it now. Do not even think. Like even that's a fun fact, fam. Like you can. I don't know if you know this. Yeah, you can look at something like anything, and not have ever licked it, but you know how it's going to feel if you do.
Right.
So like, look at anything in the room right now. Like for example, you've never licked this carpet, but you know how it's going to feel if you did.
That's so nuts.
That's so true, bro.
Just because of our experiences of life.
I don't even know. I don't even know. That's what I'm thinking. Like, you can look at anything and just know how that will feel if you were to lick it. Like, you know how certain things will feel, and you probably
It's
never.
even true, bro.
It's crazy. Like anything. Like I know what that piece of wood is gonna. That's nuts.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Whoa.
That's a
Pause,
weird,
bro.
man.
The sentence structure. I got no. Guys,
man.
there is actually a plank of wood in the room. I thought that was nuts, but yeah, you know what I mean. But you get what I'm saying?
That
though?
is crazy, bro.
That was nuts.
That is so
that
crazy.
one was nuts. But yeah, nah. It's
Moving on swiftly from that, bro. That you pointed
Anyway.
at that one as well.
Nah, word, man.
My abs have-
Nah,
Yeah.
moving on. But I wanted to talk about something. Yeah. I was on the way here this morning, and obviously it's early AM. No one's on the roads,
Yeah.
and I see this couple on Rochester Bridge actually. And I
yeah.
think they must have been. I was thinking, what time do nights out finish now, fam? Because I was like, I was like, this is nuts. It's literally 5 AM. And they were maybe like in their 30s, and they just looked in love, fam. They looked so in love, and I was like,
It's chilly weather as well.
yeah, like she looked so giddy, like she was like holding on to her man, and she was happy. And I was like, oh, love, guys. Like, I was like, I don't even know who you guys are, but I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm actually really happy for you. Like, you're that in love. And I think I told you I saw it like a month or two ago. I was on the train, and there was this couple, and they must have been in their late 50s or early 60s. And the guy is there just reading his book, and his wife is next to him, and she's looking at him in awe, fam, like in absolute awe. Like, this is my man. Like, I was like, that is so cold. Like, you have the game on lock. Like, I was like, wow. Like, that for me. I think seeing love sometimes, I'm like, yeah, that's
purest form, bro.
Purest, like
Purest.
It's crazy. But it then made me think, like, do you think that our generation has that sort of like how can I describe it? The same. I feel like our generation is very like
Instant gratification.
yeah. Like, do you think we will have that in the future? Like our generation, or even the generations to come, will have that same sort of like. Because now it's like you go on social media, it's who's next, this next person, sort of thing. Whereas, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, even I was chatting to my dad, he was saying like back in the day, and that like when you have like a girl you're chatting to, or a boy you're chatting to, like it's an investment, fam. Like, because like even just to call them, like the way we even just pick up our phone now and call people, like that wouldn't be a possibility. Like we'd have to go to their yard and to be like, can I speak to? It's an investment. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You're putting into someone. Whereas now it's kind of like you just have someone at the other end of a phone where you can literally just type in their name and then bang, they're there.
That's it. No, I think social media is obviously there is a possibility that can still happen with us and future generation. There's always going to be that possibility. But I heard this from a podcast. It was like back then, like if you're in the same town, you only have access to the people in that town. Whereas now, like you got access to other towns, other countries. You got too many options now. Whereas back then you were just limited. And then once you find that person, you know, you stick with them. Because it's unlikely that there will be another girl that you don't know in that area. If that makes sense. Or guy.
Word.
That's what I'm saying. The social media thing has
just
100%.
played a big
especially from, to be honest, it's from both sides. But like now, let's say you're a girl in it and you're a 10, whatever that means. You're a 10 and you live in one dead ends. You now don't have to limit yourself to the dons of those dead ends, bro. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it means that you're now competing at a global scale, meaning you have access now at a global scale because you're a 10. But then that also means now that for the dons in that area, they're now losing to the other dons from other global scales, fam.
100%.
Because just because she's in that same area. Before, as you mentioned, that would have meant that, okay, she's probably going to be with someone in the same area.
That's right.
now she doesn't have to do that, bro.
100.
Which again comes down again to the fact that, especially as a dog, you have to be at a certain level because now the competition's high, bro.
Trust me.
Facts.
It's international competition.
International.
Now, bro.
Multiple gaps, bro.
There's no need to be doing the thing in an era. But going back to Sean's question in terms of like, will we be able to have it? I think a lot of it comes down to individual people. I think a lot of that is discipline, you know. I think the ability to get to the point where you have that deeper level with someone. Because you'll clock like every relationship, everyone's a bit down, bro. Like, everyone, you know what I'm saying? So it's about how do you discipline yourself to be able to see the good in it and know how to have a relationship long term, which isn't easy when everything's so short term now.
100%.
Do you get it? So
yeah.
I think it's more down to the two people in the relationship. What is their character like? Like what are their what are they training for? Are they people that are just all instantaneous and everything? Because if that's the case, it's just probably not going to bang long term.
Yeah.
Or are there people that they actually have other things outside of their relationship that they're patterning long term, and they're working on the discipline which they can then apply to the relationship, which leads to what you're looking for.
100%.
That's how I view it. I think it's less likely nowadays with our generation, for sure. I think even less people are even like less people, even the way you saw those people, oh right, that's cold. Less people are even thinking that now.
Yeah.
It's not even what people are aspiring to do, bro.
Yeah, well, I saw that and I was like, if it ain't like that, fam, I don't want it. Like
Yes.
that's how I looked at it. I was like, wow. Going back to even what you said about like if I was to offer a service, probably wouldn't be the beauty thing. I would love one day, like when I'm maybe like old and grey and that, to offer a service to dons on how to chat to girls, fam. Like,
He was into that one.
No,
What's
no.
that Kevin Hart movie, bro?
As
Will Smith movie, I can't remember.
a,
Exactly what you were doing, bro.
Swear.
Yeah.
oh, Hitch.
Was it Hitch? Yeah, I think it was Hitch.
Hitch,
That's it, bro.
I haven't seen it.
bro. Oh, it's a good film. Will Smith in his prime, fam. I think like not even the sense of just chatting to girls, and more in the sense of how I think I see certain guys now, and I think their whole demeanor is wrong in the approach of trying to approach a female. Like genuinely, like I think there's a few things that it comes down to. So the first one is when they put a female on a pedestal. So women, again, like we said, now have the option of social media, everything like that. They have access to essentially the world. Now, naturally, I think guys are way less fussy than girls in the sense of a guy could be, let's say, a girl is only going to level up. Do you know what I'm saying? She's looking for a don that's like can provide her something, whether it's status, whether it's financial, whether it's looks, something like they're not going to like, I don't know. There has to be something she's providing. Whereas I feel like dons will just not take the first thing that they can get, but their options are just way less
100%.
than girls. So I've seen it a few times, where like let's say for example, I've seen a girl, let's say she's in the gym now, and I've literally like watched firsthand guys queue to chat to a girl. That do you know how much it hurts when I see it? Because I'm like, you now don't understand that you are just a number to that girl now. You are the fifth guy in a. She's thinking, and in this worst part, this guy's gassed. He's gassed. He thought my time has come, and he's gone to chat to her. And in her head, she's thinking, "Oh, here comes number five, like number five of the day." And I'm like, so for me, if I was to ever approach a girl and I see, for example, three guys, or even I don't even care if it's three, even if one guy's chatted to her, that's me done. Have a nice day. It wasn't meant to be. On to the next one. Two, I think comes down to again believing in your own source, Sam. Like how do I describe it? When you actually believe you're the guy, like you like as in you don't need her. Like, do you know what I mean? Like as in I just feel like females can sense when a guy's just desperate, like he needs me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like as in when I message him, does he reply in the first like 2 minutes? Like yeah, he was waiting for it. Do you know what I mean? He was waiting for you to message him. Like there's just certain things I think now is like I think because there's so much competition in terms of like the access to like girls and all these sort of thing on social media that guys feel like they need to grab what they can and keep it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like grab it as quick as you can and like they take it easy, like breathe. It's actually okay. You don't need to rush. Because I'm assuming back in those days when obviously you had just people in your town, like you knew that if I'm chatting to this girl, there's no dons from other towns coming to chat to this girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, everyone in that town knows I'm chatting to this girl anyway. So like it's just me and her were locked in anyway. So I've got all the time in the world to actually get to know this person. But I feel like now it's kind of like grab what you can. Like it's like literally it's like someone's like just chucked bread on the table and they're like getting
Black Friday
yeah,
deal in America,
word literally genuinely.
Through the stores.
And yeah, I think it's just I think I don't know. Did I say what happened with my little brother? With the girl. This is what I'm saying.
You did tell me, but I don't know how it happened after.
So basically, comes home from school and he's like, oh yeah, me and this girl that he's seeing, he was like, oh yeah, she basically they were dating and she then asked this other guy, her ex-boyfriend, first of all, deep fees onto year seven. She has an ex already, fam. She's setting the precedent, fam. Anyway, so
start young,
fam. Young. I'm like, you've been there for literally a couple months, but anyway, so she chats to her ex-boyfriend now, and obviously my brother's like, rah, and he said that she wasn't talking to him, and I said to him, right, you're gonna go to school for the next 2 days, and you're not going to chat to her at all. Do not say anything. Comes to Saturday now, and she messages him, oh, Ryan, you didn't speak to me the last couple of days at school. And he was like, oh, yeah, whatever, sort of thing. Cool. Now, he's now got the power. He's there. He's got her right where he wants her. Right where he wants her. And to the point where he actually locks it off. Now, the following week, he comes to me and he's like, there's been some developments. I'm like, swear, okay. So he says that she has a reputation for once guys leave her, she'll try and go back to them. And she done it with her ex, where she went back to him, and he was like, "Yeah, calm, yeah, word." He went back to him, and then she finessed him anyway. Like it got long for him, and then so he saw that, was like, "Cool." So she tried to do the same thing to my brother, and she went back to him and said, "Oh, can we give this another go?" And his words what he told me was, he said to her, he was like, "Once you have me once, you can't have me again." I was like,
I'm like, Ryan.
That is the bars. He knew the bars. I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like, because I wish a lot of guys, even at our age, had that thing of like, don't beg it. Like, you do realize there is 8 billion people on this planet. 8 billion, right? Which means statistically, even if we say it's half and half, there's 4 billion people that can be tailor-made for you. Why are you settling for less?
Yeah.
Like I don't believe in compromise. Like personally, because I think like I'm sure it's like having a padlock. There 100% is a combination that works. Do you know what I mean? And it might not be like some people. It'll be the first 3 numbers are the one, and then the last number's not. But there will be a combination which just goes click and it opens, fam. So well, I honestly believe that, yeah. And so sometimes I'm like, I love a metaphor, love a metaphor. No, but I honestly believe that like sometimes if I have, let's say, me and this person are getting along, and there's something which, to me, fundamentally is big where I can't budge in it, and we don't quite click. For me, I'm like the combination just didn't work. And there's nothing wrong with you as a person, but we aligned on all the other combinations were calm, but this last one is not allowing it to click, and the lock won't open.
I hear it still.
But your combination might work with someone else. So
that's a great perspective. You're the first person I've heard this argument, because normally a lot of people tell me like you have to compromise in this part, but that was a great
100%
great example.
I think actually I'm doing a disservice to her, because if anything, me trying to force this thing, she could actually have a combination which works with someone else, and I'm stopping her from finding her combination with someone else. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't need to force it. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think even there's the attitude of like, this whole culture of like, he messed me about. No, he done you a favor, because would you not rather found out now than got to the point where you're like, and this happens, you know, when you have kids and that, and you have this realization like, me and this person are just not meant for each other at all. But now you got a mortgage, you got the kids, you got all the other things. You're locked in now.
Trust me.
You're locked in. So I don't know. For me, I just think when it comes to this whole like relationship stuff and all this sort of thing, I think it's amazing. As much as I love love, I think love takes time, and I don't think there's anything wrong in potentially trying to, you know, see what works best for you. But sometimes you have to try a few things out to say, okay, cool, this is something that means a lot to me. I'm not willing to budge on this thing. So therefore, if this person is not able to adapt to that, like I gave the example of like even like fitness, I'm not expecting the person I'm with to be like die hard fitness, yeah. But I also expect to say, if I came home or I was running late from work and my wife was like, "I'll make dinner," she's not going to be fussed about me saying, "Oh, can I have this thing which she's not having?" And she makes me a completely separate meal. And she's just not like, "Oh, why don't we eat the same meal?" Or if I say to her, she's like, "Oh, can we have a takeaway?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I can't because obviously my plan." Like I'll expect her to be like, "Oh no, that's fine. Like that's cool." Rather than, "Oh no, why can't we have this thing? Like why do you not budge?" And like if you get me, you'll understand it and you'll be okay with it. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, and you'll adjust, because at the end of the day, you should want your partner to be happy. So for me, if that's the thing that makes them happy, I'm not going to complain about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want them to. If that's what makes them genuinely happy, to saying, I have rice and broccoli and chicken every single day, we'll pan it. That's what we'll do for you then. Like, so yeah, it's interesting. I don't
No,
know.
I hear it. Do you know what it is? Yeah, obviously I'm not the most experienced one in the world. I feel like with the female team, I think the key is you just have to level up, bro.
Yeah.
I think as much as girls have they have more options. Like they're the deciders. Most dons, if you have some level of source, have at least one girl that will be interested in them. It's just a case of whether that girl is what you want. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you have someone that she would actually be gassed to be with, because as you mentioned, like typically girls are looking to punch up, bro. They need someone that's on their level.
Yeah.
So you just have to look objectively. All right, cool. As I am right now, what type of females do I attract? Like, what level are they?
Yeah.
And am I okay with that level? If the answer is yes, then calm. If it's a no, then you have to increase your level
100%.
and you'll access a bigger pool.
Yeah, word, 100%.
And to be honest, it's as simple as that. I feel like when people are just focusing on all these tricks in terms of like, cool, this is what you say, this is what you do. It's so cool, but I just feel like long term, it comes down to who are you, bro.
Yeah,
like,
no,
Trust me.
100%. Like you have to be. You have to. I think if you get to a point where you genuinely love the person you are, these other things will come.
100%.
They're byproducts where
100%.
you should never you should never chase a byproduct to get that. Like these things will come.
They come.
Like it's like the whole thing of like, if you do what you love, you'll make bread anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like the bread will come, because if you're passionate about doing something, you want to make it the best possible thing you can. So, and as a result, these things will just come with like the money, this, that, the other. When you're, do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the same applies to like relationships as well. It's like you have to actually know yourself. Like you really have to. Like you have to. I remember even when we had the chat about it when I was coming out of my last relationship, and I was just like, I kind of like lost, like, who am I as an individual? Like it's mad, because I didn't even think of it in the moment when I was actually in that relationship for the last like 3 years, to think, do I actually know who I am now as a person anymore? Like, what does Sean love doing? Like, what does Sean, like, even like those weekends, I was like, what am I gonna do? I was like, bro, this is nuts. It takes a while to adjust. So even like now, I always just believe you should want someone, not need them. Like you should be in a situation where if you and that person are not together, you're not like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Like you should have a situation where it's like, cool, we come together because we want to spend time together, not because I need to see you. I need to spend time with you because I don't know what else I would do without you. Do you know what I mean? yeah, I don't know. I just think knowing yourself, loving yourself is key.
100.
It's key.
How can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
100%. You can't.
Simple as that.
You actually can't. But hey, what do I know, fam? what do I
young
know,
bucks.
fam? Yeah, nah. Ooh.
Experience in the world.
And it's used to say in the next 10 years' time, we'll come back to look at this and be like, what were we on about, fam? Like, what were we
Very true. It's
on
very
about?
true.
It's all perspective. Like, we'll come back in 10 years' time after having a wife and kids and being with them for however many years and just be like, oh, what were we on about? Like,
Bro, I was listening to one trading guy, and his motto, which I absolutely love, especially with trading, but it does apply. He says strong opinions, weakly held. So meaning he has strong opinions, but he's more than willing to change his mind if better evidence comes in. So he talks about it in terms of trading. So like if he's like, no, I'm bullish, like I'm bullish. But the slightest thing happens, I'm not bullish, I'm bearish now.
Oh, okay.
Bearish, you get what I'm saying? So he has strong opinions, but he holds them weakly. So in terms of this year, it's like right now we have a strong opinion, but if better evidence comes,
100%.
change, bro.
Oh, 100%.
I'm actually wrong.
Yeah.
Switching, bro.
So I was actually going to talk about the compromise thing.
Yeah.
I completely get certain factors. You just can't. You have to like. They have to work with it. You know what I mean? But with that, I was thinking if you are like that and someone doesn't come your way, you're gonna have people that think, all right, if this is an issue, I'm gonna move on to the next one. Which realistically doesn't. It does work if they don't meet the core values, but if there's little minor things, I feel like that's a skill that you need to learn and work on it to become a problem solver.
100%.
Because you can change it, or even like obviously not everything I do is not necessarily 100% right.
Oh, 100%.
Like, there's gonna be certain things, for example, cooking. Like I think this is the best chicken rice. Yeah, my girl knows better. You get what I mean? And then obviously she'll teach me another way, and then I'll become better like that. That's just one example, but
100%.
because there's people that I know, like if they have a small argument, best believe the girl or that boy's got another 4 people. They'll use as a substitute, you know. They'll ask the referee to something quick.
Nah, even that's a fair point to be fair.
So that's the only thing. But the main core values, like your diet,
non-negotiables,
the mentality, the thinking, they have to have that same mentality. But for the other things, it's good to have that skill where you can learn to like mold each other and adapt and work on something better.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, you still want a bit of a journey in it.
No, 100%. I think you need to walk into any situation and know what matters most to me.
100%.
Like, and I think even like you were saying it, like it's actually good, you know, like to have. So I went on a date with Fox.
Yeah.
And I remember John saying to me this is the first ever date I went on with. I remember John said to me like to ask the key questions, like the key questions, because.
What are the key questions?
As in, like, trying to find out whether her morals and belief align with mine, so we just don't waste time.
Morals, beliefs, vision for the future.
Because I think it's like, for example, it's actually nuts. Because I think sometimes we forget we're at the age now where potentially the person we're with now could be the person you're with for the rest of your life.
100%, bro. Like the last chance, bro.
It's the last chance. It's the last chance. It's the last chance. And it's true because. Like, I think you grow up in school, you think, oh yeah, I'm seeing this person, but you never really think to say, I could be with them forever. It's just kind of like a moment in time. Whereas now, like the person with choose to be with tomorrow, genuinely, 3 years go past, I'm what, 27, 28. Like, what are we doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you're thinking.
Bro, think about it. COVID was 6 years ago.
Stop it. That's crazy.
5, 6 years ago, yeah.
So
another one of them.
Talking kids, fam.
We're literally 30, bro.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's the last chance, bro.
It's the last chance.
Yeah, it's the last chance.
It really is.
Now or never, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Now or never.
100%. But in terms of that, yeah, like at this point, and to be fair, we've been at this point for a while. But it's like, bro, if I'm gonna be with you now, it means that I genuinely believe at this point that I'm gonna marry you. Otherwise, why are we together?
What are we doing? Like, what are we doing this for?
For nothing.
100%.
Like,
which is why I think it's important, like you said, to if every situation to come into it, you need to actually have the things which you know you're not willing to budge on, and that person hopefully has the same thing. And if those core values don't align, then let's just lock it.
Yeah.
Because 100% your combination will work with someone else. It's just not me. Like, I think some people have this entitlement to think that because I found this person, it needs to work. Like, who said that it needs to work? Like, who's to say? Like, actually, deep it. Yeah, even the concept of it. There's 8 billion people, and you've come across one person, and you genuinely had this entitlement to think this is going to work. Like, why? What was to tell you that would work? 'Cause you would never go. H is the same example again, but you would never go up to a lock and try the first combination and think that's gonna work. You never. I mean, if it works, you're like, oh wow, amazing. But if it doesn't, more time you're like, yeah,
still moving them around.
yeah. You're not gonna be like, bro, why did that not work? That should have worked. Like, you don't know. So, but then again, obviously, if all the main things align, then everything else after that is a case of give and take.
Yeah, like if there's 4 combinations, bro, and the first 3 are done, you know the last one's any number between 1 and 9, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep moving it.
Yeah,
just keep moving it.
Keep moving
Till
it.
it reaches that number and then it's all
100%.
unlocked.
That's why you see some people, they're like in relationships, and you'll see later on down the line, they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't know if I want kids. Another one's like, yeah, I want 5. I'm like, how have we got to this point? 3 years in, and you don't know. So now what? Like, what are we doing? Like, so this is what I'm saying. Like, I remember when you said to me, it's like having the awkward conversation now, so that it's just avoiding a lot of trouble down the line.
Bro, I was listening to one pastor, and he always says that you have to know this stuff before the emotions come in, bro.
100%.
Like,
yeah.
Emotions should come in last.
Last, there, yeah.
Last. Like, you have to know all of this stuff, all of these questions, all of the practicalities before you even allow that to come in. Now, it's even deeper in here. I wonder, I probably have quite a few. I probably need to actually, I wrote them down before, but I probably need to actually reconsider, because you know how you have non-negotiables, but you end up realizing that, you know what, I could probably negotiate on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you probably have Aaron, you'll definitely have a few things where you're like, you know, going into this, I probably thought that, you know what, I would never be with someone that has this, but, or
Yeah. It's alright. Because she's got this as well.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Do you have any examples of that, or the flip of like ones that are like non-negotiables for you at the moment? It's like, they have to have this, or they have to believe this, or they have to do this.
So when I asked my girl, one of the key questions, like, what's your goal in life? She said she wanted to be a mother, bro.
Bro, actually, I said the same thing, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you know how much happiness that brought to me? Do you know how much happiness that brought to me, bro?
Yeah, the same, bro.
Trust me.
That's crazy.
That's a cheap cop.
When she said that, I was thinking, yes.
Do you know that's mad though? Like, I'm
It's mad how we both asked the same question as well.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I'm happy for you, bro.
Well, I think well, no, bro. We're on the same page.
Yeah. But yeah, when I had that, so like, when I'm not dating anymore, but when I used to date, I date literally solely for like to be the wife. Obviously good for me, but she has to be a strong figure for the family, like for the kids. And when she told me that, that's one of my non-negotiables. If I can't picture her as a good mother,
It's done.
it's done.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
It's all over.
100.
The whole thing.
Because you know I told you that story about that girl who's got a son, and then she brings her to parties and puts the son. You know that girl?
Yes.
I can't be having that. That is diabolical, bro. That is diabolical.
That's extremely nuts, bro.
That's a pain in the chest, man, to hear that one. Nah, word. Nah, there has to be some core values which you're just like, okay, cool. This just has to be the case. Or like, even what was the question you even said, Sarah?
I said, so either a non-negotiable that you have, or something that you thought was a non-negotiable, but you realize that, you know what, I could actually probably negotiate with this.
I think for me, non-negotiable is you have to wholeheartedly believe me, like believe in me, like
That's a good one.
That's
a good one.
I think that is my non-negotiable, like, because I think I know from my point of view, if I'm with someone, I don't care how ridiculous it sounds to everyone else. Yeah, I know genuinely, I do believe that the only thing that will ever stop anyone from achieving what they want to achieve in this life is themselves. Like, nothing really, when you break it down, makes anyone that's successful in life different to the person that's unsuccessful in life. The successful person just believed wholeheartedly in what they believed in, that this was going to work out. So my girl, my wife, whatever, could come to me and say, it could be outrageous. She could say to me, I want to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And if she says that to me with like confidence, with chest that I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do this, do that, I'll be like, cool. I believe in you. We'll do whatever we need to do to get you to that point now.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I expect back to say, like, I'm not saying you need to see, even like what you said yesterday was mad. Like, God didn't give them the vision, otherwise they would have done it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't need you to I don't know, see the way in which I'm gonna do this thing, but you need to help facilitate me in my life to help me to say, I know you're going to get this thing done. Do you know what I mean? As in, you see me, if I ever was slacking, like I just need someone that's on my case, pretty much. Like I want
Accountability.
yeah, like I don't need a yes man in my life. I don't need another person where they're gonna be like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Like if I was to ever like, what are you doing? Like you told me this, and I believe this that you're gonna do this, so you need to get this done. Do you know what I mean? So I need like I don't know, someone that just strives to be the best. Because I remember my dad said it to me. You want someone to be someone that brings you up, not holds you back. Like even Brendan said it. He was like, some people are like taxis. They're only meant to take you to the destination. They're not meant to come in with you. I'm like, fairs. Like some people aren't meant to take you all the way, and some people are. I need that person that's like willing to come all the way with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one because obviously some of these things, which is like again, I do think a lot of people are afraid to have these conversations straight away because they're worried. Oh, what will this person think if I ask them these like, oh, what are your opinions on having children like early doors? But it's good.
Early, bro.
It's good. It's good.
It
Bro,
really
do you know on
is.
this topic? Man, like Adriana was telling me that. So she knows someone who there were a couple that recently married, maybe you last year or the year before. They've been trying for a kid in it. They haven't quite achieved it yet. It's been a challenge, innit? Now, obviously, the wife really wants a kid to the extent that for time she'd been saving up bread in the case that she couldn't have a kid to adopt a kid.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So she'd been, or just to adopt in general,
Yeah.
a kid. But long story short, they ended up using that bread for the wedding, innit? Because they had to get done. Anyway.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, so now they're having this challenge, and they're trying. They gave up for a little bit. They're trying again, and her thing is that okay, if they actually can't have a kid, she 100% wants to adopt.
Yeah.
He's saying I 100% don't want to adopt.
Yeah.
So now we have a situation where for her, it's like she would actually consider potentially leaving the dom because that being a mom is the life.
Yeah. No, of
And
course.
for him, it's like I hear it, but that's not. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be doing that.
Yeah.
That's so.
What's the in this situation now? What's the solution? What do you guys think? I think it's an interesting case.
That's tricky because like
so tacky.
it's a child. It's not like it's not like it's a dog. Do you know what I mean? When people say like, oh, I don't want a dog, and then you get a dog, and you might open up to it. Like that's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know people that like that will say, oh, I'll never get a dog, and then they get the dog, and then they gas, and then they're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. You can't have that risk of, will I like this child or not? Do you know what I mean? You have to love the child, and that's the thing. You don't want a situation where the ideal, like, even like now, the ideal situation is the guy just opens up to it. But if he doesn't, who is he? No, because the problem is he'll end up resenting either the child or his wife.
100%.
That's it.
Unless he's very mature and self-reflective, and in a growth mindset where he's like, you know, I was moving mad.
Yeah.
All the time he's like, you know, I'm actually good, but
The only
that's
solution
extremely tough one.
Yeah, the only solution I can think of is that he goes to like some child thing and just sees like just a bunch of kids, and if he could actually envision himself, you know what, that kid's actually I kind of like him. I would love to see his future. Can I pattern that? And if he doesn't, like Sean said, he shouldn't force himself for it. At the same time,
What do you think? Go on.
at the same time, you said that wife was saving up for potential adoption. Surely he must have known about that, right? because they used the money for the wedding.
I think they would have, but
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things whereby
He
You
thought
don't-
he was
you-
gonna get
you-
a child.
You don't think it will ever
Yeah,
happen?
you don't think-
No, I hear that.
you say, oh come, well, yeah. What do you think about adoption in general?
I like Mr. Solomon. That's the first thing that came up to mind. Do you remember?
Was he adopted?
No, he said adopt kids.
Oh,
Remember, there was one Spanish
swear,
lesson that he said, guys,
swear.
I need to take this phone. And he came out, I just adopted a child.
He-
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He did.
I remember
I
that.
forgot that. Wow.
I was
that's
so
cool.
happy for that guy.
Don't
Man.
he signed the deal, fam. He was closing deals on the phone.
What's your
word.
investments, bro?
That's
Oh, that's
so true.
mad because he shared that with. I remember
Yeah,
he
he
shared
did,
that
he
with
did,
us.
he
and
did,
he
he
was
did.
so gassed, like he was.
Yeah, what do you man think about it, you know?
I think it's cold.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing because
It is
there's two
beautiful.
ways. Because not only are you helping a child out,
Hmm.
but you're helping a family that multiple scenarios that always wanted a child but they couldn't. So this is the opportunity to have one.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
feel like you'll feel like it's genuinely your son, or what do you think?
Yeah.
If I was to take one at a young age, at a young age, at the end of the day, he or she will have the same morals, the same ethics I have.
Right.
I would install it into that person.
Right.
Mm.
I feel like for me, I'm open to it,
Yeah.
100%. But I just feel like I don't know if there'll be a nagging thing in my head. It's like, okay, cool, but at the end of the day, that's not your son.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Mm.
I do hear what you're saying.
I think it depends how they perceive you, though. If they perceive me as dad,
Yeah, if
They
truly
would
look
have
up
to do
me.
like if you can kind of choose who it is, and it obviously is. probably
Yeah,
not.
you
But
mean
for me, they would have to be extremely young.
100.
yeah.
And I want to know where they're coming from. I wouldn't want it to be a thing where it's like, even though they're young, what the situation is that led to the adoption ability or adoption option. I need to.
Oh yeah,
It needs to be patterned because for me, it would have to be a situation where genuinely, I can actually have an imprint. And it's not a biological child.
Yeah.
It's still going to be tough regardless.
Mhm.
But I would be open to it. If it was a case where it's like glass, I'd be open to it, to be fair. There's some people that are like, oh, regardless of me having children, I still want to adopt. Like, I still want to adopt in general, which is also nuts.
Because that's obviously what my papa used to do with the social work team, and like help relocate children to families that want to adopt and that. And I remember he was saying it's mad to see that like these children just want to be loved, fam. Like that's all they want. Like some of them going like this is what I'm saying. For me, I don't think there's obviously there might be like an age cut-off point, like late teenager. But for me, it would be a case of like I just believe children just need to be nurtured, fam. Like genuinely, like, they are blank canvases that just take on information. They just store information. It's literally like having a laptop, and you put the memory stick and you just transfer over all the files, fam. It's just taking information. It has nothing. A laptop which is fresh has no information to provide. There's nothing there. They're just taking on all this information you're giving them. So even if I was to see a child and like let's say they're displaying certain behaviors, I know that behavior is not because of that child. That child is born that way. Right. It's what they've learned. Like I think genuinely, like in terms of nature nurture thing, children. What is it? I think children are 100% all. What's it? Nurture. Yeah.
Do you think there's any predispositions in terms of even just like general interest and stuff? Or you think it's all?
I think the percentage wise, I think it's a lot, like significantly much more nurture.
Like, I would agree that it's more nurture. I do think there probably is some nature there.
There probably is.
I think the opposite.
What?
I think it's more nature.
In terms of what?
Like
how a kid ends up.
Yeah, because me and my brother, same family, same household. We've got two completely different types of friends. And we're two completely type of individuals.
I still argue it's nurture though. I'll just argue that I still say it's nurture. Because you weren't with your brother 24/7.
Yeah.
I do think there is a nature aspect though. I do agree.
There is.
No, I still think there is, but for me personally, I think it's like 60-40. But the other side, yeah. But you probably think nurture's 60 and nature 40.
I was even saying a 90-10 fam.
90-10.
Yeah, because I just think like kids really like they just listen and they copy and they mimic like certain
agree.
behaviors. Like they just do. Like a child comes out of the womb, fam, they don't know anything. They just know what you tell that child. Like if you were to have a child and put them in a room and you come in every day and tell them something every day, they're only ever going to know what you tell them.
Wait, is that not nature? Wait, is that? Oh, that's
that's
nurture.
nurture,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nature is just like how they are naturally in terms of.
Oh, naturally. Oh no, I completely. No.
So you with us?
Let me refund that real quick.
Yeah.
Let me refund what I just said. No,
Yeah.
I meant that side. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just think they'll know whatever you tell them. Do you know what I mean? So again, going back to the point of like adoption, if I think people's thing about that is like, oh, they need to be young because, like, let's say you don't want like a difficult child and that. Like for me, I don't really care if they're difficult because I think it's not their fault they're difficult. They've just gone through stuff and they've just taken on a wrong file, fam. They've just taken on a wrong file.
hear
Do
it.
you know what I mean? And
It's
it's
been
and
corrupted.
if anything, if I could get that child and take them through, because I remember even like my dad, my dad was cold to be fair. He used to like he would always treat these kids as if he was treating us like his own. So he would never like be the type of social worker where he was like, oh, it's fine, like let them do what they want to do, sort of thing. Like he would instill the same discipline he'd instill at home, apart from the beatings, fam. Like, that was the only difference. But they'd always end up patterning up the kids because they just never had that role model in their life as well. Because there was always that period between when they were going to get adopted and when they were, for example, in foster care. So my dad was like kind of like their main stable figure at that point as well. So he would always like when he'd take them out for the day or whatever, like if they were moving nuts, he'd be like you can't do this. So if they're in school and they're moving mad, he'd be like you cannot do this, like X, Y, Z. The same way he'd teach me and my brothers as well. And you see that after a while they start thinking, oh okay. Even when Brendan did the intern thing at the primary school, his main job initially was to deal with a troubled child that was struggling with like maths or something like that. And because the child was the same age as my youngest brother, and obviously Brendan was used to like having that younger brother, he literally treated him the way he treated my brother, and he patterned up, like because that boy only had the knowledge of what was going on back at home, and when they see that there's actually a different outlook on life other than what I know. Kids just know what they know. Do you know what I mean? Like if you don't tell them any different, they don't think any different. So if I could have an adopted child and change their outlook on life to say you don't need to be like this, like this is the type of person you should want to be for yourself, I think I'd find that very rewarding. Whether they're my child or they're not, and I would consider them my child. Genuinely, I think I would because I think when you put that level of investment into someone, you will like, even if it's not biologically, like you will just have this like nurturing sort of feeling towards them to say that's mine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I shaped you into the person you are today, and that was my job. So
I hear that. Right? To be honest, that's even applaudable. I think it just depends on your level of minerals and patience.
Facts.
When it comes to the retraining part, because
facts.
that's all, and it's a big risk. It's like either it bangs or it doesn't bang at all.
Yeah.
Definitely doable though, and I agree that it's
Yeah, no, you're right there.
you just have to know that. Listen, I have the minerals to do that.
You have to have patience. Patience.
Patience. Quick question on that though. So let's say in terms of the biological parents, let's say their biological parents are still active. Like it's not like they're still active.
That's when it gets techie, fam.
What last thing before we obviously close? How would you approach that? Is it something you tell them that okay? How would you think you would number one break the news that they are adopted? And would you want their real parents to have some sort of, if they're open to have some sort of role in their life? Like, would you want to, okay, cool, like, this is actually we're going to meet your actual dad, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Good point on that. You know James Smith?
Yes.
So you know he's adopted?
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's adopted.
Wait, what?
Yeah, James Smith.
No.
Yeah, he's adopted.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah, it's
Karate
nice.
Kid and all that movies, bro.
No, no, you're
No, no,
thinking
no,
about
no,
something
no,
else.
no.
You're thinking about.
I thought it was Will Smith's.
No. James Smith.
Oh, James.
James Smith. Yeah.
Who's James Smith, bro?
So,
Fitness.
he's like a fitness
YouTuber
like
guy.
YouTuber. You 100% seen him. 100% you would have seen him in
yeah.
your thing. He's like got a mullet. Yeah, he's adopted. And I think he done a live Q&A, and someone asked him the question of, have you had contact with your mum? And he was like, what did he say? He was like, my parents are the only people I know as my parents. Like, do you know what I mean? They've raised me to be the person that I've become. And there's a reason why my like birth mum wasn't in the position to have me. So I'd be doing a disservice to my parents to try and go back to that. Like, if anything, I'd rather just leave. Like, she's probably out there and sees this guy called James Smith and looks and thinks that guy looks quite similar to me. Do you know what I'm saying? But he was like, I don't need to go past that point. Like, I know who she is. I'm okay knowing that she's out there. But for me, these are my parents. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I think if it was a case of where, let's say, the family still want to be involved, I don't think I could do that one. Like, if they're my youths, they're my youths. Like, I'm sorry. There's a reason why it's called adoption, fam. Like, do you know what I mean? It's adoption. Like, it's adoption. Like that. If you in a position, why? So it's like saying, oh yeah, it's like basically having a babysitter. Let's say you can look after the like Monday to Friday, but I still get the chance to see this child. That's not fair, fam. Take your child back then. Like, if you still want the capacity to see them, why can't you look after them? Like, so for me, if it was a thing where it was like, oh yeah, I still want to have some sort of like involvement, I'm sorry that you had your chance at that. Do you know what I'm saying? This is my child now. But I don't know. What's your take? What's your take on it?
No, I hear what you mean. Like, you put your son out or your daughter out on loan. You get what I mean? Like, you can't, like, I bought, like, you know.
It's not even on loan, bro. They literally.
You sold it and you thought it was looking for loan, bro. Like, no.
Sold it, bro.
And now he's banging goals, and you now want to say, oh yeah, but he came from this club. No. He's my player now.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. If the child genuinely wants to find out more about his biological parents, though.
Do you know what? I can't, like, no, it will hurt me, bro. It will hurt me.
Let me put it in that face. No, man, to be honest,
it will hurt
what
me,
James said is a good thing in terms of the ideal situation is that if you do a good job, they probably won't even be interested.
Yeah.
Because they won't even see it. I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with Jeff Bezos, you know.
Fair.
I think so. Not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think Bezos isn't his real last. I think, Bezos is the name of his adopted parents, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And he's just like, bro, those are my parents, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, yeah, I don't know. And it all comes down to the situation as well. So let's say, for example, I can't remember James's situation, but I think there's a bit of context behind why. I think obviously Donny is from Ireland, and something about having a child at that time outside of whatever, it was just a bit techie. So if it's a situation like that, I can maybe be open to, if they were curious of saying, rah, like, who's my actual Marge? Like, who's my birth mum, for example? And it was a situation where it wasn't through any really real fault of her own. She just didn't really have a choice. Fair enough. But then again, I do think you always have a choice of a child. But I can give a bit of leeway to that. But if it's like a family that, like, husband, wife, they're just done out. Like, they just don't look after their kids.
At what point did you break them? You told them that, by the way, you were adopted?
I think quite early.
So, when you say quite early, how old do you think?
Not the 18 thing. I think I'm talking like quite young. Just to get them used to it, like to accept it. Like, I don't know.
Do you know what? I hear what you're saying, actually. Because imagine if you told them at 18, after like 15 years, like the whole life was a lie, bro.
When they start saying it's like a year 7 thing.
Yeah, I think it has to be. I think Jenny, as once they start to like be able to like understand things, or just have a conversation. Because I think telling them at 18, even though you think they're emotionally mature, that will rock their world. That would rock their world, as in, like, imagine now, like, your parents telling you, by the way, even at the age of what, 24.
At this point, I think I've passed the window. Like, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I passed the window, but I hear what you're saying. 18, I hear what you're saying, yeah.
It would, I still think for me, I'll be like, raw. Like, I'll start thinking about everything to say.
I think I'd be mad curious, but I don't think, especially with the way I'm locked in now.
It wouldn't phase you, bro.
Hey, by the way, it's the last chance.
Yeah, just tell me that next year.
Yeah,
but I do hear it though. Like I think 18 is too late. I do agree. It's just about how do you tell? Like how do you?
The delivery has to be
delivery
on point.
It's not like
That's
you
a
can take it
K-
to a restaurant and be like, yeah, by the way.
That's a
No.
KDB assist.
It has to be a sit down and everything. But
Sit down.
say no more, fam.
Yeah, nah.
But yeah, man.